Maverick Public Safety News. Hey, well, we're gonna start working on a new format of having you roll with us, virtual ride along, and we're gonna be doing both record formats and live later on. So we'll be cameras rolling in the news cruiser, and that right now we gotta get fuel, and we're gonna get the car washed and all that. So I'll be right back with you. All right, we're fueled up, and the cool thing about this, where we get the news cruiser, give it a bath, is over here with the ducks, quick quack, right in the same parking lot where we fuel up. That makes it super convenient.
Wheel maintenance for the right of way between Case Creek Bridge and Grand Avenue Bridge.
So for those joining us who aren't familiar with us, we are in the capital city of California in Sacramento, and pardon me for a moment, I gotta take the antennas off so they don't go
I gotta go to the email, so we might just lose more of the, you can call it maybe through about 15.
Additional division, on a wanted subject out of Will County, Illinois.
Normal operations in the air.
708 Broadway,
Hi. So we're in the capital city of California, Sacramento, Sacatomatos as the locals call it, and the seat of legislation for California. But as you know, as they say, so goes California, so goes the nation. So a lot of policy for the country is established here in California. Of course, that's anywhere, but more so in California, obviously, and there's some very interesting stuff in legislation right now. So there's a lot of protesting. Yesterday there was a lot of protesting in the Capitol itself, in Senate and Assembly, and it was kind of crazy. Okay, we're getting an alert for a traffic collision, and not in our area.
Dangerous. Enforcement. Last seen at 1708 Broadway, 4A Adams.
Something happening on Broadway, which isn't, it's kind of just down the freeway from us. I missed the location on that, but right now we're fueling, so we're getting the car washed.
Engine 15, go ahead.
Hi! Yes, please! Dynamite. That's extra super bubbly, super clean, right?
Yeah, extra super bubbly.
Thanks. Alright. Yeah, we should charge for
98 Charlie 1 Operations Alpha 2.
shout outs, but yeah, we use Quick Quack because they're all throughout Sacramento, and super convenient for us.
On Fair Boulevard at Angle Road, vehicle accident on Fair Boulevard at Angle Road. The tank 7, the engine 109, Paramount 113, Charlie 2, Operations Alpha 2.
And get up to a first phone and either have to call me or advise us located at door number 1.
Hey, he's enthusiastic about his job this morning. That's good. Okay, so take care of my receipts here, so my CFO doesn't get upset with me. All right. Ah! What's going on? Ah! The aliens are getting us! Oh no! It's the aliens again! Oh man! Yes, we have fun even in the car wash. But Anyway, so while we're letting the aliens attack us, in public safety news, we do things a little differently than most stringer organizations. If you watch the series Shot in the Dark on Netflix, you're well familiar with Scott at Loud Labs and Zach at On Scene, who no longer owns On Scene. He's not in the industry any longer. I believe he's bounty hunting now. Anyway, stringing really does not exist any longer in the Sacramento area. When the economy crashed, all the local news stations lost their budgets to pay us. And personally, I was making about $1,000 to $2,000 a week. So that was an instant layoff. It's going to get really noisy with the blowers here, so I'm not even going to try to talk. Copy that, good 459 with the perimeter being established on SSD2. I'm still 10-6. I'll be available momentarily. So, we have our dispatcher, and we use a phone app instead of radios, which works very well. And that way no one can ear hustle on our communications. And like we do on everybody else's. So I gotta wipe the car down real quick. I'll be right back with you. Alright, car is wiped down. We are ready to go. Oh, hang on one second. I forgot to take. We have a damaged mirror that we have to push down on occasion. A transient went ape on it.
Negative. It's by the port. Romeo, we're approximately 5.
Okay.
How do you copy?
So that's all taken care of. We're back, ready to go. Put some air on since we can't put the windows down yet, since they just got washed.
Only got it.
Dispatch number available. Control TJ1, 10-8 clear of detail at Expo. 924 to downtown grid. Alright. And you won't be able to hear our dispatcher because he's in my ear, which I like a lot.
Cancel, I copy dispatch control.
Okay, copy that. Nothing further on the 459. I would go ahead and scan. That's not going to be a priority call for us. We're not really. Oh yeah, I'm kind of in that area right now, but heading down to the grid.
There is absolutely no way.
What, are we still 2-channel for SAC PD?
Hey, firm is converting building Madison to orthodontics, and it's on the western corner. Copy, thank you.
Copy that.
Dispatch line around there, and I'll make contact with them.
So, we're in the, if you're familiar with Sacramento, we're in the Cal Expo area where the state fair is.
Battalion 13, engine 21, medic 22 from 29, unresponsive, infant 5849, Sunrise Vista Drive, unit 70, at the Sunrise Center Apartments. Unresponsive infant 5849, Sunrise Vista Drive, unit 70.
Okay, unresponsive infant.
Apartments. Battalion 13, engine 21,
outside of our coverage area.
74B Bravo, 4 operations,
That if it was within our coverage area, we would be heading to that right now. Just because of the unknown situation. Are you getting traffic on SAC BD3? Copy that. Well, 4 is always on, so we're looking for something's coming across channel 3, the 4 channel. Good stuff. I'll be locked on 3 and scanning on the other and scanning fire. Alright, so now we're on 160 hanging out of the expo area, straight into the heart of downtown Sacramento. This area right through here, they have a lot of wildland fires. This is the American River Parkway area. Mostly, well, almost exclusively wind up being transient related, with transient campfires out of hand. There's a lot of trails and everything back in here on either side of the river. We're going over the American River right now. Light rail on our left, and we're coming, you can start to see the view of downtown Sacramento.
Battalion 2, engine 54, medic 10, hemorrhage 2920, Ramona Avenue, unit 3302, across the
just yesterday, right directly across from us right now, almost right now, by 3, 2, 1, right now, on the other side of this bridge, down in the water was a body recovery, an obvious male subject, floating in the water, been there a few days. Who knows where he came in the river, downstream. The disconcerting part was we could visually see a major laceration on the back at the base of his neck, base of his head. So to me, personally, it looked like someone attempted to decapitate him with a machete and then tossed him in the river. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. But we'll see what pans out from that, because bodies are not uncommon being found in the river. It didn't get any mainstream news media coverage. We didn't put it out because we didn't have any verified information yet, and none of the law enforcement agencies will speak to it, because that wasn't where his body was found, was not the crime scene. He had obviously floated downriver, been underwater. Usually it takes about 3 days for a body to pop up. Unfortunately, we do have a lot of fatalities in the rivers around here, and many throughout the summer months, and then oftentimes during the winter as the levels rise and transient encampments and transients taken unaware by the rising levels and are swept away. So body recoveries are not uncommon at all here in the American and Sacramento rivers. Sad to say, but this one, I was glad we were there and had a visual, because it very easily could have been passed off as just another transient washing up that had possibly been unaccounted for. But this really looked like there was foul play and potential attempted homicide. So we're going to stay on that and press the law enforcement coroner's office for a report on that when it becomes available. So one thing that's different from us, if you're familiar with Stringers and you did watch Shot in the Dark or that slimy movie Nightcrawlers, which really put that was like the first thing general public knew about news stringers, although news stringers have been around for a long time. I like what Paulie, well noted stringer out of Chicago, said news stringers are the rocket ship that drives the news. And I'll say that again because there's a radio talking over me probably. News stringers are the rocket ship that drives the news. And all of the local stations follow us. Most of the time they don't know about some significant incidents that are going on until we've been on scene for a while, and then we go live on Facebook or post something about it, and then they will show up 15 to 30 minutes later, or we find out that they're calling the public information officer to verify, and it's hilarious. We're live on scene. Live, hello, this is what's going on right now. And they will call the public information officer to make sure it's actually happening before they send a news crew out. So that actually happens semi-frequently. So. And we are just less than a quarter mile away from the state capitol building. And my dispatcher let me know we are multiple channels for SAC PD now, so I need to switch my radio.
17 Medic 101, ill male in front of 3000 Elmhurst Avenue. Ill person in front of 3000 Elmhurst Avenue, Battalion 3 Engine 17 Medic 101, Sacramento 110 AL to 3, Operations B Bravo 2 C2.
All the major protesting here at the Capitol yesterday was I don't stay up on politics. Just what I need to know to vote on. That's important to myself and our family, obviously. But the anti-vaxxers. And they were actually in the Capitol, and large presence. Saw some Snapchats of them in the gallery hallways. There's a large, the assembly is on one side of the building, Senate is on the other, and there's galleries upstairs, and there's a large, it's not a breezeway because it's inside, but there's a large a walkway in between the two sides as you go into the galleries, and that walkway in between was jam-packed and all the way up to the front door of the gallery to go into the gallery of Senate, and quite the boisterous crowd. And we heard them all on the radio request all available CHP units. That's who provides protection at the Capitol, to respond to the Senate gallery. Several individuals were taken into custody. So we just went around the Capitol. It's on our left over here. We're on 9th Street, approaching N, and the Capitol is on our left. We're going to actually head into one of the suburbs of downtown, the Broadway area, where I typically get breakfast. Obviously, there's a lot of state and federal buildings down here. Right here on either side of us are state buildings. We have looks like the farmers market is going on at the park over here. We have quite a few large parks around here. When you get around news stringers, and by the way, we're moving away from the identifier of news stringer with public safety news because we're really not stringing anymore. We don't work for the news agencies. They're not our our focus any longer. You, our community, and our viewers are our focus. We are our own news agency and independent news agency. We've finally received our nonprofit status just about a month and a half ago. So we're excited about the potential of that and the doors that's going to open. We do plan on going national. But anyways, we've coined the identifier of tactical photojournalist, because we realize, when you say photojournalist, you get a picture in your mind, and we aren't out in the jungle. We're not doing documentaries of history. We're capturing real situations tactically. We're very precise with what we do. We're careful with what we do. We roll right in behind the police department on significant situations. So we don't want some stringers in recent shows would say, hey, all you need to be a stringer is that. And no, we don't agree with ... Like, I'm not even going to say it. But most of our team has been doing this a long time and have some experience and background, either in law enforcement or firefighting, some type of profession, military. And so we're very familiar with situational awareness. If it's someone who comes on our team that just has a kind of a natural yin for it, we work with them and train them. We just don't say, oh great, got a camera, go shoot, and that can set someone up for a really dangerous situation, and not only that, can cause problems for police and firefighters. And unlike some of the stringers, we will not argue with law enforcement if they're wrong on an issue where we're supposed to have access. We will back down. We will be compliant, and we'll take it up later with their bosses in a professional, respectful manner, but we will not cause an additional issue for them on scene. They've got a situation they're dealing with, and we don't want to take their attention away from that and become another problem that they're dealing with. So they've got enough to deal with whatever the incident is they're on, and there usually aren't enough officers anyway, and so for us to cause another problem, that's not good for them or the community, and that's not what we should be doing. So when we stop talking, this mid-sentence, a lot of times we're hear something on the radio, or I got something in my ear going on. This area that we're in right now is called the XW corridor. It's where Highway 50 goes through and connects Business 80 and Interstate 5 and out the other direction toward Interstate 80. And there's a very large transient population in that area, and we'll take a drive around and show you some of those areas later today. We will be starting up a series called Front Seat Interviews, and we have a couple of people on tap for that, but we'll be instead of just sitting in an office or a studio or something doing an interview, the front seat over here will be our studio, and we'll drive around to some highlight points throughout Sacramento and give some very specific statistics, not our opinions or anything, but factual statistics. And helping folks to become aware of some of the situations that are happening here in our capital city, which isn't all too different from what's going on anywhere else. But considering this is now a sanctuary city, and actions by legislators, that problem has become quite enormous. And I'm not exaggerating that word. It's become a very big problem and situation here in Sacramento, and affecting a lot of businesses, affecting tourism. When you walk around the city, and the whole city smells like a toilet, you have a problem. Not only is it not a welcome aroma for all of us locals and people working downtown, it doesn't lend to good tourism. All right, we're gonna go ahead and break down this, because I'm gonna go get some breakfast. And got protesters in the rotunda right now at the Capitol. well, speak of the devils. No, there is nothing wrong with protesting, and everybody does have their right, and it's just when they get out of hand and don't do things properly, that's when it becomes an issue. So anyways, like I said, I'm gonna go grab some breakfast real quick, and then we'll jump back in the news cruiser in just a little while and see what happens throughout our day today. All right, we finished up with breakfast, but we got kind of cut short, and we have a unresponsive person at a hotel room off of, I love the street name, Jaboom. It's one of those street names that's fun to say, Jaboom, Jaboom Boom. Anyway, so this is gonna be. The police department was called first, and the police department was requesting code 3 fire medical.
Calm advised on the walkway over the freeway closest to the riverside on Carpet. The subject, male, white, 40 to 45, completely nude. 12, Carpet Way, Riverside
completely
Boulevard.
nude subject. That is getting more and more common. A lot of that is the drugs. There's some really, not that any meth is good, but there's some really bad meth going around that's cut with dilaudid. God, this guy just like crammed right in next to me. Red Ford Mustang, 4 Charles Mary King 181. That is what you call a horrible driver, driving extremely aggressive. He's on. Look at him. Look at him. He's in a hurry. Wow. Yeah, he almost kind of sideswiped me coming up the on-ramp there. Always watch for pedestrians. Yes, even on the freeway. Again, because of the meth and all the drugs, we have transient folks who wind up wandering around on the freeway and dodging traffic and just hallucinating. And I've come across a couple of them, and I helped a battalion chief a little while back actually wrestle one down on the freeway. And that was, I was like, I hope no one took pictures of that, because it was an African American individual, completely nude, and here I am on top of him, holding him down, waiting for CHP to arrive. Like, I hope no one's got a camera. I hope no one's taking a picture. Don't Snapchat that. Anyway, so unresponsive individual. So again, for those who know me, I'm a former paramedic firefighter engineer, and so all parties, when they get a call for an unresponsive individual or difficulty breathing or whatever it is, there's several things that go through your mind, and It can be someone overdosed. It could be a homicide. It could be someone just passed away in their sleep and was just discovered. It could be someone with a really suppressed respiratory system and barely breathing. A lot of things. So we have no clue what we're going to, but what we do know is SacPD is on scene and requested fire medical code 3. So we know it's not a good situation. So we'll go here and see if we can find out what's going on. We just come in, we just kind of monitor the situation, listen to the radios, observe. Try not to overstep and make more of it than what it is or is not. We try to stay kind of low profile with the Black Crown Vic marked all the news media on it. A little hard to stay completely low profile sometimes. Sometimes it's better having an unmarked car. But when some stuff was going on here in Sacramento, even the officers, we started to feel a little uneasy because folks were very anti-police because of a situation that occurred here in Sacramento. And we drive a black Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor simply because it's a good platform for us. And here we got fire and medics. 2 medics. Oh, that's right. They did say 2. So we will. Okay. Oh, they got a lot of people out of the room over here. So we are going to find a safe place to park. Oh, I got police paddy wagon too. Whoa. Okay. So we've got something going on here. I'm gonna get turned around and parked, and we will find out what's going on. I'm going to park across the street from it and walk over, so I will be leaving you. And I'll actually shut this off and we'll switch to actual video later. I'll turn on my rear hazard indicators on my back light bar and park on the side of the road here, out of the way, not to create a hazard. And I'll be going to find out what's going on.
All trains respond, train 1.
I knew you looked familiar.
She wasn't that old. She was like a 20-something, late 20s, early.
All right, we're back in the car. That was a overdose, double overdose, a twofer. Unfortunately, bystanders told us that it looked like Xanax. There were little square pills all over the room. They were both breathing and on their way to the hospital in separate ambulances. There's also some really, really bad, well, not that any meth is good, but there's some really bad meth going around. I think I mentioned this earlier. It's cut with, now it's escaping my brain. And you probably already are spitting out what it is. Anyways, cut with some really strong stuff. Stuff that can put elephants down, and they're cutting it, the meth with that. And for those who don't know what cutting is, when it comes to drugs, they thin it out to make the pure stuff go further. So we got some photos and video of that. It's not really newsworthy to mainstream media, but it is important to us because it speaks to a larger community problem that goes back to the transient issues. And what most people don't realize, we don't have a housing epidemic problem, we have a drug problem. And people are choosing their drugs over everything else. And the drug runners are making it super affordable, like about $10 a pop. for their use. My dispatcher's talking to me.
Silent robbery alarm at Overdose 1600 Parkway.
They were both breathing, and they'll be okay. Transport to the hospital. Break. We've got a silent robbery alarm at Costco on Expo, back where I was at earlier. I'll start meandering that direction.
Train 1 for Metro Control.
All right, we've got a silent 211 alarm, silent robbery alarm at Costco, which is right where we got when we fueled up earlier. That was at the Costco fueling station, so it's right across the street. So it's just outside of downtown. So we will meander that way. Those typically wind up being an accidental employee bumped the button or something like that. But you know, just like fire alarms, you take them seriously until proven otherwise.
Yes, I'm Gerber.
The passenger, where they going?
Yes, I'm drinking and driving.
Before you proceed, we'll take you
to our right, obviously you can't see it in your field of view, was the downtown arena, the new Golden One Arena. Iron Maiden was there last night. Vanilla Ice did a open air concert there Sunday afternoon, free concert.
Not on my iPad, she is turning me up the CRT light real quick.
Over our left is the rail yards, Amtrak. This is the old, on the far left, which again, probably just outside of your field of view, is the old rail yard, Union Pacific rail yards. And one of the first hybrid cab-over locomotives was built there. There was just a handful of them. And you can see that at the California State Railroad Museum in Old Sacramento. If you haven't been there, it's a remarkable train museum if you're into trains like I am. I love trains. Love traveling on the train, love trains, everything train, I love it. They're just absolutely incredible. But a lot of history right there, but the Amtrak station is right there, part of that. And it's becoming what's going to be called the Sacramento Valley Intermodal Station. They
in progress at 1901 J. John Street. Kiki's Kitchen can be out. The colorful shirt, unknown color pants are currently down. 93 in progress at Kiki's Kitchen. 1901 J. John Street.
So 19th and J, a subject with his pants down, 923 in progress. That's an indecent exposure. And it's kind of funny, we have to know all the codes. So 923 with SAC PD is an indecent exposure, and 923 with the Sheriff's Department is shots fired. So if you don't know which radio you're listening to, you can think you're on the way to a shooting or shots fired, and you show up and that's not what you got. Yeah, see, some of you really don't want to see either, but wow. Just a couple of weeks ago, we went to one of those 923 situations for Sac City, so indecent exposure. And there was a female appeared to be quote-unquote 5150, not with it all mentally impaired, try to be politically correct. And we got in the area, and that's what we try to stay out of the area or observe from a distance, but we accidentally didn't see her and got too close, and she spotted us and came over to our car thinking we were the cops, and she was just talking all kinds of, she was out there, she was obviously strung out on drugs, and she was a big, very large woman, and she was right here, big boobs right up against my window, and it was not pretty, I just gotta say. And the officer pulled up on scene, and he's getting his gloves on, and the look on his face just was, oh, I gotta deal with this. I felt bad for him, but I was like, ah! So he walked over, tapped her on the arm, and she goes, oh! She didn't see him walking up, and he had to use a mild control hold on her, and walked her nakedness over to his car and put her in the back seat of his car. And we have an animal rescue in the 1100 block of 16th Street, and I'm gonna say that we're going to preempt and go on that because people are leaving their pets in their vehicles, and that is actually more important than this alarm. Okay, right. I'm gonna come across traffic here, and I got a truck coming up on me. He's probably not gonna be happy. My phone going, and I'm not gonna take that.
I have it on there now. Thank you.
And I got my dispatcher trying to connect with me as well. We were actually going to beat the fire department to this one. That is fine on animal rescue. We, one thing we don't hesitate doing is putting owners on camera or their situation on cameras who lock their children or pets in their vehicles and aren't considering the elements and the pet or the child. And we do the same thing with drunk drivers. We will put a drunk driver on our page any day of the week. And some folks will say, oh, they just had a situation, that's not nice, you shouldn't do. No. In this day and age, you have choices, and if you get behind that wheel driving drunk, you made a conscious choice when you took that first step and didn't plan. And there's no excuse for that in this day and age.
That leads from Lyra here's over to Art Mall. I think it leads at 36 after.
And kick over and talk to my dispatcher real quick because he was trying to get a hold of me.
Copy, 1028. He's out on road right now. Copy.
Yeah, Control TJ1, I'm en route to that animal rescue. I preempted off the alarm at Costco. I'm about 1 minute out.
We're going to be on
Copy, en route to the meeting.
10-4, David, you copy? Accidental.
Copy that. If it's an animal locked in a vehicle, actually the conditions are pretty mild right now. So it could be a well-meaning citizen walking by and seeing an animal in a car. It could be a lot of things. So we'll get down here and see what it is.
1221. I didn't hear if you updated. Is there any ETA?
15 into 37, Atlantic 37, allergic reaction, Blue Ravine and Oak Avenue Parkway. Allergic reaction, Oak Avenue Parkway and Blue Ravine Road. Battalion 15, Engine 37, Medic 37. Fire Mount 77, Charlie 4, Operations Alpha 2.
Right here, this place, Capitol Garage, there was 5 people shot on this patio out here one night a few years ago. That was a bad scene. Hey, Control, is there a name of a business on there? I think it's probably going to be Hertz. So right now I'm at the red light, but I'm observing everything over here and trying to figure out where this might be. We just have a general location. Okay, yeah, I think it's putting it at Hertz. Show me 9070 area. I'll be out of the vehicle in just a minute. All right, I'm gonna flip around over here. Put the vehicle in a hopefully out of the way area and get out and investigate.
Authorization 1231. Copy.
Is that the restaurant? That's weird. It should be Hertz across the street. All right. I'll be out of the vehicle investigating. Okay, we're back. Dispatch calling me. All right. And that wound up being what we call good intent. A passerby saw a pet in the vehicle and called it in. Truck 2 came in the area and they didn't have an exact vehicle location or color or so they checked all the cars, all 4 corners of the intersection, and in either direction of each corner, and no pet in the vehicle. And again, it's mild temperatures today. It's not hot yet. It's supposed to get kind of warm. We've been hitting, dropping down to low 80s, which has been nice. Yeah, well-meaning people. Yeah, we've been publicizing, and police and we've been publicizing, and news stations have been publicizing. If you see a pet in the vehicle or a child and they look like they're in distress or it's warm, call it in. So people are doing what they're supposed to do.
Battalion 9 Engine 62, Medic 65, ill person 9550.
But also need to use a little of the old noodle and go, you know what, it's kind of nice out and the dog looks like he's comfortable in the car and the windows are down and there's some water inside. That's all right. That's not a problem. The animal control's rule of thumb is if the windows are down and they have access to food and water and it's under 90 degrees and the animal is not apparently in distress.
Battalion 1 Engine 4, Medic 1. Call 2600 LA Lima Street, Midtown Oaks in the lobby.
Copy that. If you're not in distress, it's not a problem. Obviously, you can have your pet in your vehicle. You just need to be smart about it and think about their welfare. And so, copy that. Thank you.
Until 2021 for PC 417. And then express number is 50.
All right. So, what we try to do fuel conservation, and try to find a nice shade spot to stage in and get some admin work done. Doing urban forestation maintenance back there. Got a street shut off and trimming all the trees. Not a lot right now. It almost gets scary when the radios are quiet. You check your radios and make sure they're all running right. You expect that around 3 o'clock in the morning or so, when everything dies off in the weekends. If you hear quiet on the radios any other time than that, like between 3 and 5 in the morning, something's wrong with your radios. Check your radios.
Between 4 engine 7, medic 57, ill person, 5626 Valley High Drive in the garage. Ill person in the garage, 5626 Valley High Drive. Between 4 engine 7, medic 57, fire map 270 Delta 4, operation Bravo 3.
Later on in the near future, we'll flip this into live, and so we can interact with you and make this a whole lot more interesting for you. One thing, if you would, start sharing our YouTube page, so we can build up our subscriber base. Wow, they are really tearing things up around here. Wow, they're getting all the, the straggly palm branch stuff. They're trimming all those up, and it is majorly dusty and dirty back there. Wow. Woo. Not going down that street. We just got this thing washed. Yeah, so when we kick this into a live format, I think it'll be a lot more enjoyable, and we'll get to interact with everybody a lot more. But like I was saying, please share our YouTube page and encourage people to subscribe. And because we're going to have that live coming up really soon. Probably we'll do overnight, we'll call them virtual ride-alongs. And my partner Michael will probably be here in the car with me on some nights. And we got Michael, Mike, and Mike, and Angelina, our core team. And we have a lot of community contributors that keep an eye out in their neighborhoods for us and let us know when stuff's going on as well. We don't talk a lot about our model because it's kind of a new kind of hybrid thing we are working on doing. That's, I mean, really, as far as we know, has never been done before. And we do plan on taking it nationwide. So we won't talk a lot about our operations and we'll talk about some of the tools we use, but we do have some proprietary systems that some of our team members have developed, and they really only help out in this particular area because of the other systems in this area. We got it's called an expanded traffic collision. Alta Arden Arcade area, so we'll flip back around and start heading that direction in case it's something. My dispatcher will probably pop up here in a second.
Alta Arden Expressway, Battalion 7, Engine 106, Medic 101, Fire Map 131 Alpha 3, Operations Alpha 2.
Metro Fire responding to that, and that's going to be on SacPD Channel 1. Because it's in that area. Let dispatcher know. Control TJ1 will be 924 to the expanded Alta Arden, and Fulton will start meandering that direction. Don't have any details on it yet.
On board, I have a 64-year-old female with a decent light of differential coming from a dialysis clinic. Her vitals are as follows: heart rate of 109, blood pressure 193/74, respiratory rate of 15, and pulse ox of 95%. And I will see you in about 5 minutes.
So, once again, expanded traffic collision we're responding to outside of downtown. So it's called the Arden Arcade area. Oh, copy that. Copy that. Okay, our dispatcher just found out it is a regional transit bus versus an unknown. So don't know if it's a person or vehicles or. So that just stepped things up quite a bit, ratcheted it up. They only have two first responder units attached to the call. I can see got Engine 106 and Medic 101, which probably indicates that's a bus versus pedestrian. If it was more than that, if it was like a wreck where they thought there was multiple patients and multiple vehicles, extrication, there'd be a lot more apparatus assigned. So that's an indicator. Use all the information you can get as indicators to give you an idea of what you're heading to. We do everything we can to really obey the rules of the road. Try not to be too radical with our driving, like you'll see on some of the shows. A show. They're competing for money and dollars, trying to get to the scene before their competition and get the better shots, better than their competition, which is another reason why we're trying to create a major paradigm shift in this genre of news. We don't think it should be like that. It shouldn't be, people in their situations shouldn't be a competition. Shouldn't be the more bodies on the ground, or the more horrific the situation, the more money you'll make, the more stations that will buy. And I've always, my conscience has always been at odds with that model. Well, you have to make a paycheck, and that is true. There's got to be a better way to create the paycheck than making that tawdry chase and competition. It should be about what's going on and documenting history and what's happening in that moment at that location and time. Very often we meet people on their absolute worst days, and people pass away, situations, and we had some people die over this weekend, and mainstream didn't care about it. They were full up on news. They had all the news they needed, and they didn't want our footage. Just got to report another collision. So we're not dependent on the news stations. It disappoints us that it's not important enough for them to cover, but irregardless, it's getting covered. We are our own news agency now. We're just not stringers delivering to the news. We are the news. And again, okay, we got an individual here on the side of the road that shouldn't be on the side of the road. Interesting, he's crossing the highway. So there's our philosophy on that. So there's this about that. Off on Arden. Interesting. I thought it would take us off on Fulton. We're now entering the Arden Arcade area. We're out of downtown. In the infamous Arden Fair Mall. It's the Arden Fair Mall. On your left, the Arden Fair Mall. Several years ago, remember when they had the big, they build up the big thing, when the new Nike shoe was coming out, and you wait in line, and people get all, turn into a big old fight and brawl. Arden Mall was one of the locations where one of those happened, and we were here for that, and we were the only news media on. Why? Because we're the only news media on overnight here in the Sacramento area, until 2:30 in the morning, and over the weekends, the Friday and Saturday nights, they don't even come on until late morning. So the two busiest nights of the week, we are the only news coverage for the entire greater Sacramento region, city and county. If we don't report on it, it doesn't get out. But anyways, they had one of those big new shoe releases here at the Arden Mall, and we're thankful that we had a good relationship with the head of security here at the mall, Mr. Reed, at the time. Did a fabulous job with security. He's a former SacPD officer, and he did what most malls don't do. He allowed us inside, and so we were able to cover inside the mall and bring that news coverage, and CNN picked it up from us. So that, going back to the money, that was a really good payday for us. When the national desks pick up your story, price tag goes up considerably. We haven't had one of those in a very long time, which is good for the area. It means nothing national newsworthy has occurred. So this area has become much busier. Over here is the Univision. They've got a super secret squirrel news vehicle that I want. I admit I'm a Christian and you're not supposed to covet but I'm coveting that vehicle. I want it. It's a all black Jeep Renegade with the satellite stuff all built into it. It looks sharp. It'll be perfect for us. Copy that. 2 injured on the bus. Thank you for the update. Okay, so as our dispatch, keep on top of things. And 2 injured on the bus. Nice planning ahead, Xterra.
I can still store it on flight check.
Oh, in and out. I'm not hungry, I just had breakfast. If you're hungry, go ahead. I'll pick you up on the way back. And I'm always looking way ahead. And I'm not seeing anything down there yet ahead of us. We're pretty close. Go ahead and go code 7. Just go ahead and mark me 9070 area. I'm just probably less than a quarter mile out. Scene here shortly. Should be right around this S-turn, so we'll start paying attention to what's in front of us and behind us. Get ready to kick our safety hazard lights on just in case. Okay, I've got visual. It's on the left side of the intersection. It's right around the corner here. We got an RT supervisor on scene. I can see a fire engine, just the top lights. I see an RT bus. Can't see if there's an ambulance or not.
Metator, engine 2. Chastain 23013 like Charlie Street, Unit 15. Chastain 23012 like Charlie Street, Unit 15. Battalion 1, Metator, engine 2. Fire up 149 Bravo 4, operations Bravo 3.
TJ1 is 97, RT supervisor, RT bus, and fire 97.
One notification on my passenger, Christine. Copy. One more break. Copy. Down the street, eating on trees, a metal pipe. Ready to see firebox, ready, creating a mess. Stop the speed test western, walking northbound.
And I'll be back with you in a little bit. Maverick Public Safety News. Just before 1 p.m. this afternoon, authorities received reports of a vehicle versus a regional transit bus on Fulton Avenue just north of Alta Arden. The driver of the Mitsubishi SUV told PSN that he backed into the rear end of the bus when he was backing out of a business onto Fulton Avenue. 2 people were reporting minor injuries, and CHP was on scene taking a report. RT authorities were on scene as well, and 2 victims were transported via ambulance with minor injuries to a local hospital. This is Maverick Public Safety News. So quite a bit of time has passed, and we left you at a vehicle versus...
Train 3, BC3, BC7, engine 101, engine 19, medic 19, engine 103, engine 20, rescue 20, truck 17. Residential structure 2007 Janus Avenue. Residential structure 2007 Janus Avenue. Train 3, BC3, BC7, engine 101, engine 19, medic 19, engine 103, engine 20.
We're 1 minute from that structure fire.
Alpha 1 operations Bravo 656.
West Sacramento also has a fire. It has a working structure fire. So when we left you, we were on a bus versus a vehicle versus bus fire accident, and that was a vehicle that was backing out of a business backed into the bus. It really wasn't much, but 2 people were transported for minor injuries. And our fire location should be right here. And there is nothing. There was just a stump on fire. 497.
Dispatch, this exterior extinguished fire. Ever reduced the balance to the first
TJ1's on scene is exterior fire put out by residents. I'm 97 before fire. They're on their way. See, news media shows up before the fire department does.
Male black 30s and 40s wearing a plaid shirt and pants. Last 5, the subject was walking westbound on Richard.
Wow.
RP has been really...
Well, I doubt it because I do a lot. I doubt if it's that they don't care. There's probably a glitch in the system. So, yeah. Do we know how this started?
It looks like it's going to be on Thorn Road at the Golden One Credit Union. It's thinking to.
Copy, thank you. Battalion 2, engine 56, medic 53.
There you go, here they are.
3932, 44. Battalion 2, engine 56, medic 53. Fire map 5210 1, operations Bravo 6.
Train to Dispatch 2, attention to the counties, inbound fire, 2964, calm report.
Please see this engine 33 and route 15.
Alright. So, people get misconceptions of things. So we got here way before the fire department did. And it's just a stump that's on fire. It was on fire with some grass. No idea how it started.
But trains are way too higher density.
But they were upset because they called 911 and they don't exist in the system or something. And they said they don't like us. Like, okay, it's probably not that they don't like you. There's probably a glitch in the system and you need to complain about that. Not that they don't like you. So they're checking the house too for some reason. Probably just make sure smoke didn't get in the house or whatever. So burned a lot of their grass, but they were quick with the water hose and got it taken care of before the fire department got here, so that was good. Oh, now I got a vehicle fire at Auburn and Watt. We will be on our way to that. We're close. Control, we're 1098 on this. Part of the front yard grass burned. Don't know how it started. Now it'll be 924 to the vehicle fire at Auburn and Watt down the street.
Battalion 7, Engine 105, Medic 19, Hemorrhage. 1075 Fulton Avenue, Unit 143A, West
down
Alpha.
the street, we got a little
Plaza,
ways
Memory
to
Care
go,
Unit,
but
Hemorrhage. Carlson Plaza, Memory Care Unit 1075 Fulton Avenue, Unit 143A Alpha. Battalion 7, Engine 105, Medic 19, Fire Map 151, Bravo 3, Operations Alpha 2, located Code 2.
One of the things that's very real is when you watch Shot in the Dark, we all hate red lights and stop signs. Right. I don't see any smoke.
Thank you, Engine 1, Smoke Investigation, southbound I-5 at Federville. Smoke Investigation, southbound I-5 at Federville.
Typically, I should say a column of smoke already if there's a good vehicle fire.
At a time 3 call, 6217 at West Point Way, call 6117 North. Battalion 4
Glad we were able to jump up on the freeway real quick.
Alpha 1 Operations Bravo 3, first unit code 3, second unit code 2.
Still don't see any smoke. Freeway's backing up though. It's not supposed to be on the freeway, it's supposed to be at Watt and Auburn.
Go ahead and add on, please. Can you have all second alarm units?
Okay, that West SacFire.
Engine 5 divert, track 5, engine 2. Residential structure.
That West Sac structure fire is gone to a second alarm.
Residential structure 4, Battalion 45, DC1, engine 5 divert, truck 5, engine 2. Commo, IT operations are on the east.
Copy that. I'm near the vehicle fire area and I don't have any signs of smoke or fire so far.
Control train 21, 7 down from cover that bridge, you know, how big it's going to be.
Battalion 45, engine 4, and place of engine 5 diverted. Station coverage needed, station 41, 1 Street. Station coverage needed, west.
Fires in the area as well, and their UTL 1098, and it'll be, oh, nope, I found it. It was a minivan.
Operations west.
Looks like they used the fire extinguisher and got the fire out, and the fire passed them on, looks like.
If you have an opportunity, can you give us a landline? Our number here is 321-2897. Yeah, I'm calling now.
That vehicle fire was in front of 3421 Auburn Boulevard, in front of the storage facility. Okay, so you'll see this minivan when we flip around here. And there it is. You see all the white all over the ground. So they utilized a fire extinguisher. Oh, it looks like they were trying to jump the battery. Looks like something went awry when they were trying to jump it. So, all right. So that West Sac fire is now a second alarm. Given the time of day, we are going to start hitting traffic. So we likely would not make it there, but one thing we start heading in that direction since nothing else is going on, and it's towards downtown anyway. You have to go through downtown to get to West Sac, so we're heading in that direction. So let's see, what were we talking about earlier? Oh, the bus. Let's see, left you at the bus. Didn't mean to leave you at the bus. But yeah, it was minor. The guy told me, the driver of the vehicle, Mitsubishi little SUV, he said he was backing up and didn't see the bus pulling up and backed right into the passenger rear side of the bus, right on the corner, and it smashed out his back window and ended up the back of his vehicle pretty good. Didn't leave much of a dent on the bus, but two individuals were indicating that they were injured, stated that way. And went to the hospital via paramedics, and that is all so far. The CCAT team, Career Criminal Apprehension Task Force, we're monitoring some traffic there, and they were on an individual. Sounded like they were in a motel and had eyes on him, and they were going to swoop in and make a felony arrest, and all this other stuff, the structure fire and the vehicle fire, the stump or grass fire, cut us off on that, so we missed that. Actually, traffic isn't that bad yet. Fire dispatch. Here's what traffic. It's a fall. This is where our traffic starts backing up near heading into the expo area. And I'm going to be taking the 160 into town. Whoop. Sorry about that, folks. I hate when people try to jam ahead like that. I just did that accidentally. They're probably cussing me out right now. I try to be careful because the vehicle is branded, so we don't want people saying, "Oh, those public safety news guys, who do they think they are anyway?" They think they own the road.
If this works, should be last at George Adam Mary.
So we got these freeways are designed horribly for this area. It always bottlenecks right through here because you lose a lane and then a lane comes in, and then traffic comes in from the mall, from Arden area, all in the same spot. So just like a double whammy pinch point. So if it's commuter time, it all just bottlenecks up right there. Read an interesting article on traffic. My wife works for a significant transportation industry or provider, or how should I put that nondescriptly? Anyways, a major funding source for transportation. Probably figure that out. Anyway, and she sent me an interesting article. I think think it's over in Europe. They handle their traffic much better than we do because they understand merging a lot better, kind of like the zipper effect. And we like our pecking order and don't you get in front of me and all that stuff. And when lanes merge, meant to come in and zipper together, flow together, and we feel like we have to stack up, and when the lane's ending, we all got to get over, and there's still a lot of queuing up space that's wasted. Instead of traffic is staying spread apart and flowing in and working together and merging, it makes a whole lot of sense. They were talking about trying to do more lanes like that, but they said in America would probably never work just because of the mentality of Americans. We're very, like lack of air term, pecking order oriented. I mean, don't let that vehicle get in front. Don't try to get in front of me. You're gonna get there a whole lot faster. You just made me 20 minutes late by getting in front of me. Imagine how wonderful this world would be if folks could just learn to not be so at each other. Anyway, I digress. Ooh, that is a Mustang. I have you hear that Mustang Roush engine purr. There's nothing like it. I got a thing for that. That will make my head turn. Okay, once again, we should see some smoke. Looks like they probably got a knock on that West Sacramento thing. We're on Richards Boulevard, which is the northmost borders the downtown area. This area is starting to develop. CHP headquarters has been moved over here, right here off to the right. Is the newer CHP headquarters and the lottery headquarters. We don't have any calls pending. Take a quick tour up here. It's one of the newest light rail stations. Township 9 station. This is what they're terming as the River District. This is just all built up just in the last 3 or 4 years. CHP headquarters on your right. I like this fountain thing they got going down the middle of the street here. Just really neat, kind of quiet area. And nice little hangout break areas. And then it goes up here to Vine, little roundabout thingy bob smack, and up into the American River Parkway area. Great walking and riding your bike area up here. It's just absolutely mellow and beautiful. Love what they did with this up here, and they're going to be developing all this off to the left. Here in Sacramento, they're doing what they're calling the urban infill, and they are building. We have a new soccer arena that's just been approved. That's going to go in just off to our left here, next to that rail yard area that we drove by before. Brand new Kaiser, big Kaiser hospital is going to go in. Get on the downtown channel.
2 or 3 more.
5 to you, and you're to the rear of the structure.
From the outside.
260 internal and commercial Sky Creek property, 6350 Sky Creek Drive.
Copy that, and that change of assignment.
Internal and
Another
commercial.
alarm, fire alarm,
Sky Creek
commercial.
Drive, Sky Creek property, Pacific.
And we really don't go to alarms.
212.
If anything, if we're not doing anything and we're nearby, we'll start meandering that direction. We'll monitor and see if it develops into anything.
Testing medic 2, testing 340 Whitmer Avenue, testing 340 now, 315 medic 2,
Trying to get landed and get some stuff posted up. And I'll go ahead and cut this off for right now, and get not much going on, which is part of our routine. Part of what we deal with is not some dead times, and we try to fill those with administrative stuff that we need to get done, posting and stuff like that. So it's pretty mellow right now. That's what I'm going to do, find a spot to stage in the shade and get some work done while we're waiting for the next big catastrophe to occur. And then we'll jump on again. So we'll come back, bring you back to us when we have something going on. This is Maverick, Public Safety News in Sacramento. Oh, just like that individual right there, we have a lot of folks walking around like zombies, strung out on drugs. We mentioned earlier about the meth problem. Dilaudid, that was the other drug I was looking for earlier in the day. When we were talking about meth, they are cutting that meth with Dilaudid, which is very dangerous. Lots of people dying from that because they're overdosing pretty seriously. So those 2 individuals earlier today at the motel that overdosed are quite fortunate. There's a situation over off of Richards. Again, that's where we're at with the overdoses. Richards and Burkett, which is just the other side of the freeway near the police department. I'm not sure what the situation is, but we know there was a wreck, and possibly from a pursuit situation. For some reason we did not hear. We know the PRCS, that's the Parole Release Supervision Task Force thing. That's for that early release program. We know they were hunting somebody today, so we don't know if it's related to that. That would be speculation at this point. But we'll head over to that and check it out. I parked my car backed in there one night where that RV just was, and you know, at dusk is when the bats take flight. You know how that, you've seen that in movies and shows and videos and that, and there's bats that fill the underside of the freeway there. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden it sounds like it's raining big drops on my car. And it's not raining tonight. And my car was covered with bat guano. It was rather disgusting. So this is the Amtrak station referred to earlier. We're winding our way through here using the back route over to Richards and Burkett. This is the federal courthouse here in Sacramento, right in front of us. Beautiful building, wonderful architecture. I love it. Jaywalking. That's a heavy-duty fine when you get an officer who wants to take the time to write it. That's another one of our situations that a lot of people don't realize this as well. Proactive policing is a term of the past. There really is no such thing as proactive policing, at least here in Sacramento any longer. Maybe in Mayberry, California, with Barney. But straight ahead of us is where the new Kaiser Hospital is going to go, and to the right is where the new soccer stadium is going to go. So over in that area, we'll actually make the right turn here, and we'll be heading right at where the soccer stadium is going to go. But this right here is going to be the new Kaiser Hospital. And we actually have bus routes running up here now. Oh, the yellow bus, okay. So straight ahead of us in the field, you see a big pile of rocks and everything. Straight ahead there is where the new soccer stadium is supposed to go. I know we were talking about something else when I digressed to that. The old gray matter ain't what it used to be. Chase a squirrel. Squirrel! So we just bypassed a whole bunch of commuter traffic that we will have been sitting in for quite some time just to get over here on the other side of the rail yards. I'd rather sit in this little bit of traffic than up there on the freeway with all that traffic. There's a ledge right there on the right of your screen. You see the railroad crossing sign. Right above that is kind of a little plateau. Transients, there's like a whole community of transients. They brought in a bunch of pallets and created a foundation and had a tent city going on up there. And it was pretty ingenious. I'll never be short of amazement at how they, just their ingenuity, survival skills, and the things they come up with. You'll hear me say transient often, and it's one of the things we're going to cover in our front seat interviews when we start doing those. We're drawing a definite distinction between homelessness and transient. Or transient, there goes the brain again. Transient, there's another word we throw in there. Anyway, people who are homeless might be transient, but transients is an individual who has the opportunity to take advantage of programs and get on the right track, but they're content in the situation that they're in. Homeless individuals are ones who are in a situation, be it obviously a fiscal situation or whatever it may be, and they're doing something about it. They have a drive. Trying to get out of that situation. Most of these folks we just drove through have no desire to change their situation. They are content how they are. And we're arriving on scene, should be Okay, we got CSI on scene. We have CHP. I think this happened up on the roadway, up on the highway. So I'm not sure what vehicles are which. We really don't have a scene. I think we're gonna skip this one. We're probably gonna regret it. We usually have the mind, if you get there and there's something to shoot, shoot it. But not sure what we're shooting. So.
There's a coach stop right here on the corner somewhere.
Well, we'll go ahead and drop this one. It looks like individuals getting in his pickup truck over there. Oh, matching pickup trucks. Again, there was some type of, don't know if it was a road rage or what it was, but it was more than a vehicle accident. There was some type of crime involved. And that's why they have CSI here. There's a second part to it, and I don't know where the second part is. They're talking about two scenes, and the one was here. And yeah, that one person's taken off. Everybody's clearing. CHP cleared. Okay, so nothing to shoot here. This is our day. This is how it goes for stringers. Most stringers are out just only at night. We, like I said, we are our own news agency now, so we are also out in the daytime. And so here we go. This is Union Gospel Rescue Mission is down the street here, and at night you'll see where these cars are here on the right. This will be packed with transient vehicles, just really densely packed, and a lot of tents and everything here along this roadway. And over on our right is Union Gospel Rescue Mission right here on the right, where these folks are out on the curb, on the right side of the curb. And they're waiting for the doors to open up, and they have to attend a church service, and then they can get fed and bed for the night. And that's how the Union Gospel Rescue Mission works. Right over here on the left, there's a blue tarp back here. A lady was very brutally stabbed right there by her husband in the tent a couple of months ago, and just like the next night, another transient individual was shot just down the road here from us. But the lady who was stabbed here, they have a memorial there. It's been almost 3 months ago now. They have that memorial on the fence, the transients do. They all knew her really well. And we saw photos, and it was a very, very brutal murder. And I'll just leave that at that. We'll go through another major transient area just right down the street here. There is an organization here called Loaves and Fishes. It is another homeless outreach. They do have programs here. And then the Salvation Army program is right over here on the right, on this corner of 12th and North B Street, B as in boy. but just when we cross the intersection here, half block ahead, commercial fire on 49th Avenue. That's out of play for us right now, too far away. So here we go. Get ready for an eye opener. Over here on the left, all these tents here.
Structure alarm sounding 4120 49th Avenue, Unit 84 Bowling Green, Village Apartments.
All the way down the street there on the right. Over here on the left.
Battalion 2, BC2, Engine 5, 6, Engine 16, Truck 16, Engine 12, Truck 6. Fire map 230, Delta 2.
Whoa, they've got a whole shanty built there. I wonder how they get away with that one. Anyway. We got flipped around because we can't, this is one way. Out of town, and we don't want to go out of town yet. Go back from whence we came. Give you another angle of this problem here. Oh wow, they closed. This is new. That fence that's in front of it says road closed. That's new. That used to be packed all the way down there as well. Wow, that's interesting that they closed that up. I would like to have been over here when they did that. I did not realize they did that. That was just really recent, and they put fencing all around that field. Cleared that out. Wow. All right. They're shaking things up a bit. So that's a tour of part of our major transient area. Mentioned earlier today we were in that XW corridor of the Highway 50 on the far south end of downtown. There's some other major encampments in that area, and obviously various other places throughout the downtown area. Go ahead and take a break and come back to you when we have some more going on.